I just wanted to start off by saying welcome back to my channel, guys. So this video is the second tutorial video for this week in the tutorial series Designing with Zahr. In this video, you will see me creating 5 social media post designs using Canva. For the very first set of social media post designs, I wanted to ensure that they were replicable and could be designed by anyone. With these 5 social media post designs, you can vary the transparency, color palette, and so much more. I hope you found these designs useful and you were able to recreate different versions of these social media post designs. So for this very first social media post design, I wanted to keep it simple. So I was aiming for something floral, something girly, something attractive, yet very simple to design, and that's why I kept it monotone in the design. So solid purple background with a light pastel purple, I'd say color flowers, and a dark purple border. So here you just see me scrolling through Canva after typing in flowers in the search bar, and I'm just looking for flowers that really is a set, comes in a set, and could be replicated and resized to make a nice design. So the first thing you saw me doing there is trying to alter the transparency of the flowers, and then I went for a light purple, a purple that's on a gray side, and then started replicating those flowers. And from the first video, if you watch the first tutorial video, we spoke about how you can easily replicate whatever you want in Canva by holding down on the designs and pressing the Alt button, which is what you see me doing here. So I'm never going to press the copy function that is in Canva's interface. So you see me start off with 3 big floral designs, and then I try to resize the same floral, reposition them by rotating them, and then just trying to create a design that is somewhat uniform and scattered throughout that page there. So by this time we have 3 very varying size of flowers. We have the big ones, the ones that are a little bit smaller, and then the teeny ones. And then in order to make it look a little bit interesting, I'd say, or more creative, you want to rotate it. So just ensure that all the flowers are not going in the same direction. So you can rotate it, you can flip them, just to ensure that it's not too uniform, where it looks like everything is an immediate replication of each of the designs. And that's just basically what you see me going through and randomly selecting some of them to flip. Some of them I flip them on the vertical axis, and then others I flip on the horizontal axis, and then some I flip on both horizontal and vertical axis. So you see me grouping them here, and then I'm going to resize them to occupy all the area of the sheet right there. And then once I've centered it, then I'll add a border to it. And I'm not sure if I tried white, but I think I tried white with the border, and then decided to use dark purple. So with that first peach sheet that you saw me use, I was just basically trying to put a square design over here and then fade it out, so that way you'd have two colors. But then I decided I didn't want to interrupt the patterns that I created with the flowers, and then I just decided a border would be best. And so right here I'm just looking for a border. So again, in this video I'll just reiterate from the first tutorial video, in order to alter the thickness of the square border in Canva, you resize the square and then you fit it to the page. That's how you alter the thickness of it. So if you want it really thick, when you select it in the panel, the element panel on Canva, then you let it stay as it shows up and then you just resize it. So with this design now, again, something that is simple, attractive and easy to design. So this one is nothing too hard, and the thing with these designs is that you can really put anything on them. If you use them as a template for your social media posts, you can put anything on them. You can put a picture on them, you can put some quotes on them. You can basically take the designs further in your own creative way. So you just see me adding the 4 sets of stars right there, the gold stars, onto the pastel pink color page. Then I'll be resizing, sorry, I'll be resizing this, what would you call this running paint looking thing. I'm going to actually decrease the transparency of it and try to make it seem, the effect I was really going for, to make it seem like, oh, I wanted it, the top portion of it to match the color of the initial paper page, so it seems like it's a nice gradient effect into the orange and then back to the same color in the background. So right here you just see me with adding this gold border. So one thing with the gold border is that you have to be really careful with is sometimes when you put it on the paper, your design, like the running paint design and the color, will go away if it fits, depending on how you hold it and it fits there. So you have to be really careful with that. So onto the third design, again, something simple, attractive. You can put literally anything on these social media post designs. So just a couple of gold dots, a plain background and a border, really. So you can put a quote on there, you can put a picture, some pictures and writings on there. These, you can really use it, and if you like certain colors, you don't have to use a dark gray. You can use different colors that are complementary to the dots right there, the gold, the set of gold dots. So you could use a light gray, you could use a really pastel pink, you could use white, you could use black. So you see with the white background there, the only reason I didn't use white background is because I wanted to use white borders, and so I didn't want to use any colored borders with this gold element there. So I wanted to use white. I knew I wanted to use white. So again, you see me resizing the square, so to alter the thickness, and then now I'm shaping it to the size of the paper. So those again are, you're going to see me resize this again because it's too thick, and then I'm going to size it to the page. So that's how you alter the thickness there, like you just saw me do. And then there you go. So again, from the first tutorial, if you have not seen that one, when you design these, you have to be careful with the borders when you're creating the designs, because you'll be able to see the border of the initial design. If you resize it and it shows you that line is actually symmetrical, what you have to do is you have to offset it, like you press your up button one time, your side button, and then you resize it and then you recenter it. So for this design, it's just another design that is simple, black, pink and white, you know, so nothing hard. And these designs are nothing hard that anyone will have an issue recreating, whether it's with recreating it with different color palettes or even different styles. So you saw me group those squares, and I'm going to fade them, center them, put a border actually in the background. I'm going to put a border at the back of it, and then put a border on the entire page. So for this, you see me put a white border behind the two pink squares that I group, and then I put a pink border on the outside of the paper. You can actually put a different shade pink behind the pink squares that are grouped, and then put a white border if you so please, right? So I'm going to group them. And then now I'm just going to put the pink, change transparency, and then I'm going to add the pink on there. So one thing with altering the transparency is if you want to put a quote, you want to put anything else on there, and you don't want the design that's acting as a template to interfere with whatever you're going to put on the social media posts. So you're resizing the thickness, altering the thickness, and then resizing the border to the size of the page. So yeah. So right here I was just trying to figure out whether I wanted to fade the border or not. And then you lock in the design. So that's something from the first one. This is the last design, and you know, Christmas is right around the corner, so if you wanted to create like some Christmas social media posts, this is a nice one that I designed. It wasn't the intended fifth design, but then I figured why not create something that people can practice and actually use for their winter social media posts. And so that's how I decided to recreate this other design. Let's have a winter theme on there. So you see me get the picture, put it in the background. And then I wanted the picture itself to look like it had a gradient effect. So I did this again in the first tutorial. So to create the gradient effect, that's the best element to use in Canva. So you resize it to the page. And so in the first tutorial, you were not able to see me use the color palette in the picture that was provided in the color option. So for this tutorial, you're able to see the color palette, and I just picked a color out there to ensure that the colors were the same. They weren't that different if I were supposed to match it using the color wheel. So with this design, you can fit it perfect to the page, or you can bring it down like I did. So much things you can do. So with this one, I was trying to do like a blank part of the template, the social media post design with with a blank solid color, and then I just decided I didn't want to do that. I mean, you can go this route, but I just decided for the tutorial video I didn't want to do it. So I just decided, hey, I need to put a border. How you alter the design after the tutorial, basically up to you, but I didn't want to make the design too complicated. So a border is much simpler. So most of these designs literally take 3 steps and less than 15 minutes to create in Canva. So that is how easy it is to create a social media post using Canva. And like I said, so we're just going over the 5. So this is the first one that you saw us design, the second one, third, the 4th social media post design, and this one is the 5th one. So you saw me create 5 social media post design in this tutorial video. Literally each of them took 3 clicks and can be created in 5 to 15 minutes. And this is a very great way you can curate the aesthetics of your social media account.